theater through the first 2 games of the series. And Chris Paul is back.
All our guys are back together. He's the guy.
Bombs to the rim. Punched into the Andre Ayton.
Was inside for the slam.
They can't be the more desperate team.
Oh, he banks it in. That's good.
The Clippers are the hardest working team on the court tonight. We just play hard. Just win or go home, in my opinion, right now. I would just leave it on the floor.
He is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it
What
that
up, dog?
we do?
We get the people. They won.
We have Super Bowl champion, playoff Lenny, Leonard Fournette, joining us on the show in mere minutes. However, we start the show with Game 3 in Los Angeles, a must-win for the Clippers, and it was a win that they got against the Phoenix Suns. Jalen, what do you think of this performance from Los Angeles?
To start the game, it was about the big fella, Zubac. Actually playing good defense, scoring the ball, grabbing boards. He had a double-double at a halftime. Paul George performing like the best player on the Clippers, setting the tone. And how you end quarters really matters. When you have an emphatic dunk, that sends a message to your team and to the crowd. When you make a half-court shot, that's a banker. That sends a message. The opposite message that it sends when you miss 2 free throws at the end of a game. It was a must-win for the Clippers. They stepped up and got it.
Jalen, 3 years ago, I could never imagine saying this sentence, but the Phoenix Suns really missed Cam Payne. Cam Payne, he's twisted an ankle, and he's key to this. I never would have thought that Chris Paul coming back into the game in the series and Devin Booker would combine to shoot 10 for 40 from the floor. What was it about the Clippers, or what was it about those two that really just hurt them?
Guard play is going to be crucial, as you acknowledge. And without Chris Paul in Game 1, Devin Booker was historically dynamic. In Game 2, our guy, Champagne and Campaign, was awesome as well. In this game, the guard play failed the Clippers. CP3 and Booker, they struggled from the floor. Cameron Payne left the game in the third quarter with an injury, and the Clippers guards were the difference. The defense of Patrick Beverley making Devin Booker uncomfortable with that broken nose, and Terrence Mann in the third quarter attacking and being aggressive and scoring buckets. Those become difference-making things for the Los Angeles Clippers. And the defense of Nicholas Batum goes under the radar. His ability to guard multiple positions, block jump shots. I've seen him block a few jump shots in these playoffs.
Great
that's
point.
really tough to do. So it was a complete team win by the LA Clippers.
Jalen, you played so many years in the NBA. You're the best NBA analyst in the game. However, I have an expertise that applies to this series unlike no one else, because I am the senior broken nose analyst. If you haven't noticed, my nose is on the wrong side of my face. So I want to talk to Devin Booker. First of all, Devin Booker, you should never have had your nose reset during the series because it's going to get broken again. Number 2, Devin Booker, if you don't get it reset, you don't have to wear the mask. Wait until the offseason to get it reset. And when you put me and Devin Booker side by side, you can see clearly that we are on the same team. The nose should be in the middle of your face, but now it's on the side of your face. But I'll say this, Mr. Booker, take the mask off, dog. Take the mask off. If it gets broken again, it's broken again. You can get it reset again.
I disagree.
But take the mask off. Why do you disagree?
For comfort. And as I see that picture of Devin Booker, he's a combination of both of us. He looks like me from the forehead up and you from the eyes down, in particular with that broken nose. With that being said, it has to be there for comfort, Jacoby. We've seen so many players in the history of the league play with masks and be productive. And shout out to Reggie Jackson, who you see continuing to be aggressive. He helped turn their series around and their season around in a lot of ways. But in all honesty, that broken nose is there for protection, Jacoby. Guys like Patrick Beverley, they're going to be whacking at it. Guys like Morris, they're going to be whacking at it. I understand what you're saying, but I feel you need the mask for protection.
And Jalen, there was something I saw watching this game that was the most important footage of the entire game, and that was Kawhi Leonard Listen, I'm a dad, you're a dad, we spend time with our kids, but why was Kawhi Leonard up in a suite with his children instead of down on the floor? Do you know what that tells me? That tells me he is not coming back in this series. When I saw that footage, I said, this man is not coming back in that series. Why is he watching the game up there instead of down on the floor, Mr. Rose?
I agree with you, Jacoby, and I'm happy that he is at the game to cheer for his teammates. It's great that he get a chance to spend time with his family. That's exactly why he chose to go home and be a member of the Clippers. But with that being said, that's the look of a man that ain't coming back this year, dog. That's what I see. He's dealt with that knee injury for multiple years. It flared up during these playoffs, and I'm pretty sure at all costs he's trying to avoid surgery because he's already had it. And for me, that look is, hey guys, this is where I'm gonna be during your championship run. So if y'all go ahead and win this series, if y'all go ahead and win the championship,
I'll take the elevator down. I'll take the elevator down if y'all win the championship.
Move my guys on.
Well, Mr. Rose, one thing I know about players is they love to avoid surgery. You've needed surgery on your shoulder ever since we started this show a decade ago, and you still haven't gotten it. That is the Western Conference Finals. However, it's now time to turn our attention to the Eastern Conference Finals. Tonight, we have Game 2 between the Hawks and the Bucks. It is in Milwaukee, and that man, Trae Young, put on an absolute show in Game 1. What do the Bucks need to change in Game 2 to even the series?
The degrees of defending Trae Young. So he has unlimited range, which means you have to push up on him at half court. You can't allow him to just occupy that real estate. You got to try to get into him. The second thing, your bigs have to find a way to get up there on pick and rolls. They have to get up there. It's going to be less Lopez. It's going to be more Giannis at the 5. You'll see guys like Bobby Portis out there. You got to get up there on Trae Young. Bogdanovich has been dealing with a knee injury. There's no DeAndre Hunter. Is Cam Reddish going to return? You have to find a way to up-end Trae Young. And he does it in all phases, Jacoby. His float game also is what was killer in the previous game. That giant killer, how he keeps his dribble alive. And then lastly, his unique ability to pass the basketball. When the last time you seen somebody with the flair of the dramatic, throwing it behind the back, doing the shimmy when they're open, throwing it off the backboard? I remember a time we were in college at Penn State. They just entered the Big Ten. And somebody, may have been me or Jimmy, threw it off the backboard to see Webb. To show you how much the game has changed, Steve Fisher, who I love and should be in the Hall of Fame, was so mad that he took the participants out of the game. That's how much things have changed in basketball.
My favorite part about that story is you don't even know if it was you. You don't even know if it was you. That's my favorite part about that story. You're like, this happened. It could have been me. It might have been Jimmy. I don't really remember. But one thing that I'm encouraged if I'm a Bucks fan is Giannis. There was a couple times after timeouts when they ran pick and rolls with Giannis and he just got easy alley-oops. Like there was a couple times during this game when they dialed something up and he's just like, oh, I'll just get an alley-oop off of that. Like Giannis Antetokounmpo is a 2-time MVP, a defensive player of the year. He needs to assert himself, and what they need to do is decide that they're going to live off of Giannis getting these alley-oops, getting these easy buckets, because Chris Middleton hasn't been able to perform the way that they want him to. Jrue Holiday had a great game 1. Hopefully he can also show up in game 2. I have the Bucks winning game 2. What about you?
I agree with you. And for me, the performance of Chris Middleton was the exception, not the rule. I think he's going to respond. I don't think he's going to have more shot attempts than points. Jrue Holiday played well, scoring over 30. That's something that you can draw upon. And I agree with you about your Giannis point. Watch, you're going to see Giannis defend and contest Trae Young a lot more in this game. And when he shoots it, he's going to run out and try to duck in and rim run. And so that's what you try to do. And that's what teams had been doing to the Hawks in the regular season these past couple of years, trying to take advantage of those long rebounds and turn them into their big duck it in on the other end. So watch for Giannis trying to do a lot of that in this game.